Cool. We are live on YouTube. Chris Brewer, I'm going to make you host again. I am all good.
Thank you, Zach.
I just want to double check for the Zoom. You guys give me a thumbs up for audio. Thumbs up. Awesome.
Spencer, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you. Welcome. We will open this thing up for questions with quarterback Spencer Petras. If you have a question for Spencer, please raise your hand by clicking on the participant button at the bottom of your screen, and we will get things started. Spencer, the first question from Darren Miller.
Hi, Spencer. Just wondering if you could walk us through maybe the mindset when you guys went down early in the third quarter. You were behind for the first time in the game, and then you executed that scoring drive. Just, what was the mindset there?
Yeah, we spoke at halftime. The only thing holding us back was ourselves, and we needed to come out there with a big drive, and great job all around. Ran the ball really well, had some key, really nice catches by some guys. So. We knew we needed to get down there and get some points, and we executed well.
The next question, Spencer, from Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Spencer, obviously it wasn't easy for you guys today. That last drive, you had a second down play to LaPorta right in front of your bench. Can you talk me through that one? That was a big play for you guys to keep that going.
Yeah. We were running the ball, really well. So a little naked off that, and really good job by Sam. Making the catch, staying in bounds, number one was huge. And then getting up the sideline, getting some yards so that we could, continue to move the ball. So, really good execution, especially by Sam.
Was he your first option on that play?
Yes.
Next question, Spencer, from Chad Leistico.
Hey, Spencer. I saw you were really upset with yourself on the interception. Maybe walk me through that and how you kind of bounced back from some tough throws early in the game.
Yeah, obviously, can't do that on the interception. Just forced it, and obviously very upset because we take pride in taking care of the football. That's my number one job is to limit my turnovers, and can't do stuff like that. But real credit to our defense. Held them to a field goal after that, able to keep us in the game. That's it's really good team football. And I make mistakes. They have my back, and That's the way, that's how we play winning football. So, credit to the defense, and yeah.
Next question from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, we look at that first touchdown to Tyrone Tracy, and I think he went in motion and kind of looped around. What was kind of the play design, and was he the primary option on that route? Yeah,
he was. Big play action, trying to get their guys to come up and play the run, and he got behind him. So easy throw and catch. Really good job. The key on that play is to make it sound like the run, so that, we get good pull, and it was just a good job by the unit, offensively executing that.
What was that like at the right after Keith missed that field goal and you were on the sideline and you knew if they scored a touchdown, they win? Was it just kind of a sinking feeling, or how did you what were you doing watching that last drive there?
Really, we were getting ready for potential 2-minute drive if they did score a touchdown, and really just having our defense, cheering our defense on. That's how we play winning football. We they go out there, we have their back. We go out there, they have our back. That kind of deal. We were cheering them on, and I think everyone on the sideline, had confidence that they would step up and make a play. And Chauncey with that forced fumble or whatever it was. I don't know if it was interception or forced fumble, but. Great play, and we knew it would happen. We had confidence in those guys, so, yeah.
The next question from Isaac Goffin.
Hi, Spencer. What do you think was the biggest difference between the run game in the first half and the second half?
They were confusing us with some looks early. So, we just got that figured out at halftime, and we were able to run the ball a lot better in the second half.
The next question from Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Spencer, you had 4 really big fourth down decisions to make in their territory. Can you kind of talk me through what are you lobbying at that point for a certain play, or do you just kind of have any input at all in terms of whether you go for it or not and what play you run?
Pretty sure that there's a big chart that they have upstairs as to what is statistically the best thing to do or analytically, and I think that we go with that. So, and then when they, if we want to go for it, then let's go for it. Let's go. At that point, I just try and do my best to get us the first down, but yeah.
Tell me about the throw to LaPorta. That was a big play there. That 4th and 2 play.
Yeah, quick game. He had a really good catch. I threw the ball a little behind him, but a really good job by him to make the catch and get the first down. They're playing a lot of zone, in our empty stuff. So they, he was able to find a hole there, and we got the first down.
The next question from Chad Leistico.
Just overall, big deal for you guys to win 6 in a row against Nebraska. How much of a big deal is that for you?
I mean, anytime you win a Big Ten game, it's a big deal, especially against a rival. It feels good. Feels good to win. They're a good football team, so it means a lot. And I know we're all super excited that we got the win, and get to go home and relax and just go to sleep knowing we got the win. So it's good.
Okay, Spencer, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Spencer's going to slide out, and Terry Roberts, I believe, is going to slide in, and then we'll have Jack Plumb behind Terry. Good afternoon, Terry. How are you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing good. I can hear you. I can see you. So we'll get this started. Terry, the first question will come from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Terry, it seems like you're around the ball every time on special teams, whether it was what I think it was Northwestern, recovering it before it went out of bounds to this one. What is it about special teams that makes you, maybe unique as maybe one of the best in the country at doing what you do?
I mean, it's all about preparation. Coach Woods, he prepares us every week for each team that we're playing against. And, just my teammates believing in me. Same with Coach Woods. And, I believe my teammates, Torrey, he's arguably one of the best punters in the nation. So, I just tell him, if you give me a good kick and we'll go down and cover. We'll get the ball.
The next question from Chad Leistico.
Hi, Terry. Nice game. I'd love to hear your thought process as you kind of combine the, eyeing where Torrey's punt is going and what the punt returner is doing. Give me your perspective on that fumble recovery today and what happened.
It's just, I told Torrey before he went out there, you get a good ball, we'll go down and cover. And I looked at the returner, seeing him, and I looked to see what the ball was. So, and he dropped the ball, and see ball, go get ball.
Is that? I mean, he's one of their best players. Is that? Was that a surprise to you that occurred?
They're a hell of a team. Shout out to them. They gave us a good fight. But Coach Woods, he told us all week, at some point, they're going to put one on the ground, and there it is. They put one on the ground for us.
The next question for Terry Roberts from Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Terry, do you get a sense when you look at the other returners that they have trouble with Torrey Taylor's ball? It seems like whatever they do, they make the wrong decision every time.
Yeah, Torrey, he has multiple different types of punts. He can make the ball spin a certain way, so it's harder for the returner to catch it. And that's why, I believe he's one of the best punters in the nation. So shout out to Torrey Taylor.
The next question from Jeff Johnson.
Yeah, Terry, just in general, I mean, does it take a special kind of individual to want to play special teams? I mean, obviously you want to play position wise, but I mean, this is the role you're given right now. Does that, talk about that, I guess, if you would.
You just take advantage of all your opportunities, whether it's special teams, offense, defense, field goal block, doesn't matter. Just anytime you're on that field, give it 100%. Even if you're in for one player, then you got to take advantage of it because that might be the play to change the game.
The next question, Terry, from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, I mean, along those lines, I mean, you just seem to make an impact in just about every game doing that. And this is going back a year ago, but the Iowa State game, for instance, you seem to ran the guy into the punt returner, which enabled Devontae to recover it. In this case, you seem to be kind of holding on the outside, and then you saw the ball. Just what is it kind of your thought process when you're going down the field? Is it to headhunt, go get the ball, or is it to hold a lane?
My job is just to go down, force a turnover on special teams. So I go down there. The faster you get down there, the harder it is for the punt returner to focus on the ball. He's more worried about getting hit than focus on the ball. So, it's kind of easy,
Terry, congratulations on the win. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
As I mentioned, as Terry slides out, Jack Plumb will slide in, and we'll have Tyler Goodson after Jack. Jack, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, questions for Jack Plumb. Please raise your hand by clicking on the participant button at the bottom of your screen. Jack, the first question from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Jack, first of all, you look a lot bigger than the last time I saw you face to face. But what's this been like for you to go from being about 240-pound basketball player to, a pretty big tackle? And what was this weeks of preparation like, knowing that you'd probably get the start?
It's been a lot of eating and trusting the strength coach. They do a great job of making sure it's all good weight and you're doing what you need to do. And then this week I went in after Mark went down and then just prepared like I would any other week. Got the reps with the ones all week, so I had a lot of confidence going into this game.
Jack, the next question from Chad Lysico.
Hey, Jack. What Spencer said you guys needed to make some adjustments at halftime. What wasn't working in the run game, in your opinion, in the first half?
They were giving us weird fronts up front, and then we just settled in, got the looks figured out at halftime, settled in, made our calls, and got after them.
Was it a missive to, from the coaches that, we're going to run the ball in the second half, come hell or high water, that type of thing?
I mean, we like pounding the ball. It's tough Iowa football. We like doing that. So when we can get the ground game going, we like running it.
Jack, the next question from Mark Freund.
Hey, Jack. What's a rivalry win feel like?
Man, it's awesome. The feeling in the locker room, you can't beat it. Especially a trophy game. It's great. Singing the fight song, you just can't beat it. It's awesome.
The next question from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had to overcome some adversity in this game. I mean, whether it was the turnovers, you're down 7. How were you guys able to mentally stay focused and be able to perform even when the game was kind of going against you?
Just trust in the preparation. We do a great job in the week, making it stressful on us. So we know we just keep pounding it, and eventually they're going to break, and we're going to come through.
The next question from Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Jack, how do you think you did in your first start? Do you feel like you held your own up there?
I think I did all right. Definitely improve a lot, and we'll watch film and see how it goes from there, but I think I played all right.
Any other questions for Jack Plumb? All right, Jack, thanks for your time. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
As I mentioned, Jack will slide out. Running back Tyler Goodson will slide in. Tyler, how are you this afternoon?
Oh, good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. If you have a question for Tyler Goodson, please raise your hand, and we will get started, Tyler, with a question from Darren Miller.
Yeah, Tyler, yards were on the ground were hard to come by in the first half. Then when the third quarter opened, you guys put together that 16-play drive. What was the difference in that drive that allowed you to get a little more room in there?
Yes, coming into the game, we expected them to overflow like they normally did. But obviously in the film, they watched film, studied us, made some great adjustments, and they started to play backside. And so we just had to come to the sideline, tell the coaches, take coaching, and come into halftime with a different mindset. So we just went in, made adjustments, took the coaching from the coaches, and put it out on the field coming into the second half.
The next question, Tyler, from Scott Docterman.
How important was it for you guys to establish the run early in the third quarter? Because it just wasn't the typical first half you guys have had this year.
Right. It's always important for us to establish the run, especially this game. I think the run for us set the tone for us to get the ball moving. And as we kept running, we kept progressing. We just got to work on finishing the drives, and we'll do that by just going back to the facilities and watching film on improvement.
The next question from Mark Emmert.
Tyler, you carried it 30 times. I think that's a career high for you. How did you hold up physically? That was a pretty tough, hard-hitting game.
Right. Yes. It's not the usual for me, but I'm okay with it. Whatever the coaches want me to do, that's what I'll do. If they want me to carry 25, 30 times, that's what I do. Or if they just want me to carry it 10 to 11 times, that's what I do. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
The next question from John Schaefer.
Hey, Tyler, what's it mean to beat these guys for 6 straight seasons now?
Yes, it means a lot. I've only been there for 2 of those seasons, but I can tell you it's a great feeling, especially winning, coming back to the locker room. The atmosphere in the locker room is great. You see a lot of smiles on guys' faces, and that's the best feeling about winning these games, and also winning the trophy. It was just a great team effort and a collective win.
Chad Lystico.
I'm sorry. Was it frustrating? Of your 30 carries, the longest was only 13 yards. Just couldn't seem to break that long one today. Was it, I guess, just very frustrated?
Right. It's not frustrating. After a couple runs in the first half, I knew the game was going to be a tough running game. So it was all about just keeping my head clear, staying focused, and know that the offensive line, the guys up front in front of me, will get the job done, and we'll be able to break a couple runs going into the second half.
Any more questions for Tyler Goodson? Okay, Tyler, thanks for your time. Congrats.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Same to you. Kicker Keith Duncan on deck. Keith, good afternoon. How are you?
Good. How are you, Chris?
Doing well, thanks. If you have a question out there for Keith Duncan, please raise your hand by clicking on the participant button at the bottom of your screen. Keith, the first question from John Schaefer.
Keith, how nice was it hitting those first four, and then what was your reaction to missing that fifth one?
Yeah, I mean, it felt great hitting those first four. Every time we, as a specialist unit, we come out on the field, we need to execute. Unfortunately, the last one didn't hit it well, but missed. Fortunately, we have a great defense that kind of backed us up and came in with a win.
Keith, the next question from Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Keith, there are a lot of fourth and short situations in Nebraska territory that you guys had to make decisions on. I think 3 times they likely to send you out there to kick the ball. What are you doing during those timeouts? What's your routine there?
Yeah, so I've got a pretty scripted routine. Usually every first down and after the second down, I get a rep into the field goal. Going into third down, I'm standing right next to Coach Ferentz. The mindset there is attack the opportunity. And that's kind of what our program's built on, is new opportunities, doing it the right way, and, playing tough, smart, and physical. And that's my mindset going onto the field and trying to execute the rep.
The next question from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, for exactly 1 year, you've kind of been public enemy number one, against that team. I mean, did you hear much on the field? Did anybody try to shake you a little bit? And did you think about looking over to the other side after you made some kicks?
Yeah, yeah, it happened last year and this year. Pre-game, I don't know. They like talking a little bit. I think they're too worried about growing their mustaches and playing football. But that's the difference between Iowa and Nebraska. We are focused on football. We're focused on playing the right way, and we came out with the win. But yeah, that's what they do in pregame. They're talking, but I wouldn't want any other way. That means they're worried about you. So we played dangerous today, and we came out with a win.
The next question, Keith, from Chad Leistico.
All right, so I believe it's the case that you have a relative that's a Nebraska fan. Do you want to fill us in on what that conversation ahead?
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to him. He's my uncle's a big Nebraska fan. I don't know why or how, but he is. And, he sent me a picture before the game. He was wearing his Nebraska gear under his Iowa gear. And I'm like, that's a little bit foreshadowing. Iowa's on top, of course. But it's going to be an interesting conversation in about 10 minutes. So I can't wait to rub it in his face a little bit.
Keith, the next question from Michael Loss.
There's no question you earned your honors last year, but you had opportunities. To make 29 field goals, you need opportunities. This has been a touchdown team. Do you feel like how do you feel about sort of fading into the background a little bit?
You know what? If we're a touchdown team, that means we're a winning team. So I'm happy about that. If I'm kicking 0 field goals and we're winning, I'm a happy kicker. Because kicking those 21-yard extra points is a lot of fun. Seeing points on the board is a lot of fun, and coming in from a win is a lot of fun. The locker room today it's unreal. That kind of momentum is what we build on. Iowa football grows every single week. We get better every single week, and that's what we're the best at.
Next question from Chad Leistico.
Just a sense that special teams, was probably the biggest factor today in the game. Is that something Coach Ferentz pointed to ahead of time?
Every week it's offense, defense, special teams. There's no just offense, defense. I think Coach Ferentz does a really good job of understanding how important special teams is. I think Tory Taylor's punt was probably, one of the biggest plays in the game. That momentum shift got us points, was huge. Tory's been outstanding this whole year, as well as Ryan, Austin, and especially Caleb. Caleb does more off the field that's, not as recognized, but he's a great leader on our team and does a great job within the specialist group to advance everyone. We have such a tight knit circle, and I think the success is showing on the field. We had a great game today, and, we still have yet to have our best game.
2 more questions for Keith. We'll start with Jeff Johnson and finish with Scott Docterman. So Keith, the next question from Jeff Johnson.
Yeah, Keith, you said they were talking a little junk to you. Is there anything specific you can relate that maybe is PG or PG-13 related?
Probably not. But that's just how it is. I mean, it's football. It was just, it's fun. Go through the same routine every pregame, and they didn't like that, I guess. Probably stuff I shouldn't share, but that's football. It's Iowa against Nebraska. It's expected. Wouldn't want anything else. So it was a good win.
The final question for Keith Duncan from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, I write for the internet, so I don't need the PG-13 version. If you got an R version, I'll take it. But is there any other team that gets you going the way Nebraska does? I mean, does any of the other Big Ten teams or Iowa State in the past or anybody else kind of feel this way?
Yeah, Scott, I'll make sure to send you a text on that.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, every game we want to win. Obviously, trophy games are special to us. But Nebraska, treats this game very special to them. So we're out there. We want to win. But, we just knew that if we played Iowa football, we were going to win. That's what happened today. We weren't worried about what they were going to do. We were worried about what we were going to do.
All right, Keith, enjoy that phone call with your uncle. Enjoy the win.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time. Keith slides out. Cornerback Matt Hankins will slide in. Matt, thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing good. We're doing good. If you have a question for Matt Hankins, please raise your hand and we will get started. Matt, the first question from Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Matt, they took the kickoff in the third quarter and drove right down on you guys and took that 20-13 lead, but didn't score again. What did you guys have to shore up there after that to get better as a defense?
We just knew we had to step it up because they kind of walked it down on us. And from that point on, we kind of talked to ourselves like, look, this game going to be on us. They don't score any more points, they can't win. So we got to do what we got to do.
Matt, the next question from Darren Miller.
Yeah, Matt, along those lines, you guys tied it up in the third quarter. Then how significant was that 3-and-out that the defense got on Nebraska's next drive?
It was huge because that brought a lot of momentum for the offense, for the defense, for everybody, really, the whole team. The energy just shifted right there, and we just kept it going.
Matt, the next question from Scott Docterman.
Matt, you were elevated to captain status a couple weeks ago. What does that mean for you and the way you've performed this year to be recognized in that way?
It means a lot. Coming from my teammates, thinking that I'm able to lead these guys and be a captain for the team, that means a lot. And, it just means that I got to keep doing what I do each week and keep preparing and play the best that I can.
The next question from Matt, we'll go back to Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Matt, what was your view of that final play that Chauncey and Zach made? What did you think when you saw that?
I loved it. I was on the other side. I was just standing there admiring everything that's going on, seeing my guys celebrate. I was too far away to really celebrate with them, so I was just watching them celebrate, and it's just a beautiful sight.
The next question from Scott Docterman.
I think it was in the first game you were playing the cash or, covering the slot. And since then, it seems like you guys have really solidified your secondary. How much better do you think the secondary is than what it was then? And how do you feel playing straight corner rather than playing cash too?
I think from the first week to now, we improved a whole lot. Communication has been great, and it's a tight-knit group. So everything that we go through, the ups and the downs, we always just come back together, talk about it, figure it out, and keep it rolling.
The next question from Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Matt, they kept kind of changing quarterbacks on you by series. How did that impact your defense, what you guys had to get done?
We know that 2, he liked to throw the ball a lot more. And 7, he more of a runner, but they both can get out the field and make plays. So, it's really focused on us and doing our keys and our assignments.
Are there any other questions for Matt Hankins? Okay, Matt, thanks for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Final Hawkeye student athlete will be tight end Sam LaPorta.
How's it going?
Sam, we're doing well. How are you?
Doing good, thanks.
Good, glad to hear it. Sam, the first question this afternoon is from Chad Leistico.
Hey, Sam, I first wanted to ask about the 4th and 2 conversion down in the red zone. Walk me through that catch and throw. Looked like a tough one.
Yeah, 4th down is always a big down. We got the call. We went out. We executed deep in their own territory, which was huge for us. We went in and punched it in. So that was a great drive for us. And I was glad that we could keep that alive with that 4th down conversion.
The next question from Mark Emmert.
Yeah, and then I wanted to ask you about one other play too. There was on your final drive, there was a 2nd down play that they cut you along your sideline there for 15 yards. I guess, what did you see on that play?
We were just trying to run the clock out, basically take as many yards as we could and stay in bounds. So we executed well. We kept the chains rolling.
The next question for Sam LaPorta from Jeff Johnson.
Yeah, Sam, just the run, it came more difficult for you guys today. What kind of adjustments maybe did you make at halftime to be able to be more effective on the ground?
Well, going into any game, there's obviously physicality involved. With Nebraska, we're always going to take their best shot. We got a target on our back with those guys. They're always trying to get us. But yeah, the run game was hard today, but we scrapped as many yards as we could. And the running backs and the O-line and the tight ends, I thought, did a really good job today.
The next question from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, it seemed like Nebraska's defenders were coming from a lot of different angles, which probably added to some of the confusion or difficulty in the first half. How were you guys able to kind of figure out exactly what they were doing so you could kind of get going in the second half?
Well, as the game progresses, you start to see looks over and over again, and you see, coverages and different fronts over and over again. So you start to visualize what's going to happen on each play and like how they're going to play their coverage or how they're going to bring their front or maybe a blitz or so. So as the game progresses, you start to see those things over and over, and it becomes easier for us. But they threw a lot of things at us today, and I thought we handled them pretty well for the most part, but we got a lot to work on.
Are there any other questions for Sam LaPorta? All right, Sam, thanks for your time. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you.
As Sam slides out, that concludes the student athlete portion of the Zoom interviews. I believe Coach Ferentz is ready to take the podium. We're almost home, but if you have recently joined us and you need recording privileges, please let me know by dropping a note in the chat, and we will get you taken care of.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get going here. So, just first and foremost, just really thrilled to get the victory today. Really hard fought game, conference game, and then you're talking about a rivalry game too with the, trophy on the line. And this is 3 straight years now where it's really gone down to the last play, last minute. And, both teams really playing at a high level. So just really proud of our guys. I thought they played resilient, had some ups and downs during the course of the game. Wasn't, 100% perfect, obviously. But that's what you expect in conference play. And I think the most significant thing is just the way we finished the game. They came out and scored on that opening drive in the second half. And then after that, we settled in. I think we won 13-0 from there at that point on and close to being 16. So, come up with that last field goal. I think we all breathe a little bit easier, but wasn't meant to be today. It was a great effort on it, hit the bar. And, we got to go play defense. But the defense really rose to the occasion. And, again, just thrilled to get the victory, thrilled to see our guys with the trophy, and even better, we got a day off tomorrow. So it's a pretty good day for us and just really pleased. I'll go ahead and throw it out for questions.
Coach, the first question from Darren Miller.
Hi, Coach. You're always stressing complimentary football. How important was that in the third quarter after you went behind for the first time to not only get the scoring drive, but then that 3 and out?
Yeah, those are all big, and you can feel the momentum swing right there. We've had 3 games in a row now where we've had some ups and downs certainly, but not that tight of a situation. So it was good to see our guys responded. They came back and responded, and kind of we didn't take control, but at least we gained momentum back and responded in a positive way. And the kicking game played a lot of big factor today. We anticipated that might be something, and thought we might have an edge in the punting game, punt return game. That proved to be true. And then, the turnover battle is always, it's always a big factor, and it was again today.
Coach, the next question from John Schaefer.
Hey, Kirk, this makes it 6 straight against Nebraska. What does that mean for you and this program right now?
It's just, we don't tend to really look at things in the big picture. It's week to week and then year to year, but happy. I mean, just, happy, and it's not easy. Any conference opponent, it's hard to win conference games, just in a nutshell. So, if you can get a streak going, that's great. But that wasn't first or foremost on our thoughts today. It was just, we knew we had a big challenge in our hands, and, just glad we were able to, get the job done today.
The next question from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Kirk, on that first offensive series of the third quarter, you ran the ball 9 times. It seemed like there just wasn't a lot of consistency in the first half in that regard. How important was it to establish the run at that point in the game? And then also going forward on 4th and 2 on that drive, whereas you were in chip shot field goal range.
Yeah, on that point, I'm not sure if I was thinking rationally at that point, but we just decided, hey, let's keep pushing it. We were moving the ball and had a little momentum there. Your point about the running game is really, spot on. We wanted to run the ball in that first half. We had a hard time, and give our opponents credit there. They threw a couple, wrinkles at us that we were not playing very cohesively. And as a result, I don't know how many yards we had at halftime rushing, but it wasn't very impressive. And even in the second half, I mean, it wasn't always pretty, wasn't always smooth. I think we had one clean run in that first half. But I thought the staff did made some good adjustments, made some good tweaks, and we went out and played a little bit more effectively and ran the ball a little bit more efficiently in that second half for sure.
The next question from Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Kirk, you alluded to this earlier, but your defense shut him up for the final 27 minutes of the game. I guess what did you see there in terms of the adjustments that your defense had to make to get that done?
Oh, I don't know how big the adjustment part was, but we knew coming in the game, regardless of what quarterback was in there, contain, and the quarterback run's a huge part of what they do. And we faced that last week too. We anticipated playing two quarterbacks a week ago, and this game, it really didn't, in my opinion, matter which one was in there. They were both really dangerous, especially in that run part. And it could be a designed run. They had those. The improvisations, those are really difficult. And then if you don't keep contained against a guy who's pretty nimble, you're just asking for trouble. And we had a few of those today too. So I think we just played probably a little bit better fundamentally in that second half, especially after the first possession. But even then, you're just kind of holding your breath because there's just something about, I go back to 13 when Ohio State had Braxton Miller and Hyde and some good receivers. It's just, they just stretch you thin. When the quarterback can really run and also throw it, it puts a lot of pressure on you defensively.
The next question for Coach from Chad Leistico.
Hey there, Coach. I was curious if the 2014 Nebraska loss still bugs you. And the reason I ask is because special teams played a big part in that game, but also played a big part in your favor today.
Yeah, no question. Funny you bring that up. I just mentioned in there to couple other coaches, just that this is a much better deal. That's still, I haven't ranked, you rank games and all that. It's in the top five of the worst losses that we've had here. I mean, 22 years, that's about as bad as it gets. If you can't cover a kick, you turn over in the red zone, give it up an easy one before half, it's hard to think you're going to have a good team or a team that's going to win consistently. And yeah, that one's kind of burnt in my memory bank, unfortunately, and probably never shake that one.
The next question from Scott Docterman.
Kirk, what does it mean to have a special teams player like Terry Roberts? It's kind of a position that doesn't get a lot of recognition necessarily. He just seems to make a play in the game every time he's out there, and it's a selfless position. I mean, what does he mean to you, your team, and to be able to play at this level when he's doing that?
As historically, we've had a lot of those good stories of guys that, cut their teeth or, get their feet wet playing special teams. And it's so important, especially when you get a guy who's a real high energy player, a guy that brings energy and it's, spreads to other guys. Monty's doing kind of the same thing for us, but Terry by far he's been extraordinary this year. And then the rest of the stories we kind of knew it was coming because we've seen him in practice. He's doing a pretty good job as a player too, as a cornerback. But he going back to preseason, he just was really humming on special teams. You could tell it was important to him. He was committed to it, and boy, he plays with a lot of energy and toughness out there. And that just really it gives you, it elevates the whole group. And so I think we all really appreciate what he's doing. He takes a lot of pride in it, and my prediction is at some point it's going to show up with him being a every down player as well, because it's all the same. I mean, you got to learn a little bit more about playing corner, but it's hard to give a player that kind of energy and determination. It's been fun to watch him grow and develop.
The next question, Coach, from Mark Emmert.
Pretty sure another guy we stole from Kent State. We may start getting hate mail from Kent State, right? Jovan Johnson, I get right down the list, but another guy we stole from Kent State.
Hey, Kirk, you referenced earlier one fourth down decision you made, but you had four pretty interesting ones to make today. Can you maybe talk us through, I think you had time to talk about or think about each one of those. Do you listen to a lot of different voices there, or how do you decide when to go for it, when not to, when to kick the field goal, and who makes that decision ultimately besides you?
Yeah, I mean, you got analytics, everybody's got an opinion, right? And then it's probably a little bit like baseball. You go at the book, and I shouldn't go down that path right there. Yank that good pitcher. I haven't watched any baseball this year, but I understand a pretty good pitcher got yanked out because he was on a pitch count. So, a lot of it is just how you feel at that time too. And going back to the 4th and 2, we had a little something going there. So that gives you a little more confidence to go ahead and say, okay, let's go for it. And when you're just kind of sputtering or, you're not quite, then my mindset's a little bit more like, so, we all want to go for it, but what makes us think right now, we haven't played so well here the last 7 snaps, and all of a sudden we're going to convert a 4th and 4. So a lot of it's just kind of how you're feeling at that time. And but to the credit of the staff, they've kind of, they've been working on me for about 6-7 years now, and I'm starting to get worn down in that department. So a little bit more, open to risk taking, if you want to call it that.
The next question from Chad Leistico.
Hey, Coach, just reading some post-game comments on Nebraska side. Sounds like they were frustrated that you guys were clapping before the snap and bothering them. Is that something that came up?
Well, so the officials said something to me about that at halftime, and I'm like, okay, so we told her about our sideline. The coaches, I don't know if players were clapping. Told them no, and then next thing I know, I got one of my headsets off, and I got one on, one off a lot of times. You don't pay attention, but all of a sudden I see Cody Meyer like, hey, let's go, guys, and then I caught myself doing it like, hey, good job, let's go. So I mean, what the hell are we talking about? Like, it's stupid, right? And I have no idea. Plus, I do know this. I saw across the field, they had like a little clap routine. It was for third downs or something. I don't know. So this is stuff 22 years, my 22nd year. I've never heard him thinking about that, with one exception. I'll give you a story since we got time. So anyway, I told the officials, we told our guys, but it's football. So maybe they need to change their cadence if it was interfering with the cadence. I don't know. Now here's my story. You guys want a story? So my son Steve used to be at Central Michigan, right, as a GA, and they had a film. This is pretty good, actually. I guess it's kind of like today. There were two guys down in the end zone to the right of Central Michigan's bench, actually doing that, okay, synchronizing it with their opponent. I can't tell you who they were playing. It's the funniest damn thing, right? You showed it to me on film. That was funny. Two college kids, right, doing it, right? But I got to tell you, that's going back to the original topic. I've never heard of that. Never heard of it. Now, if a player on the field was doing it to try to, I get that. But what are we talking about?
Coach,
the next thing you know, we're going to be treating this like golf. I was going to say tennis, but they do that at tennis, right? But in golf, nobody's allowed to say anything, right? Sorry. No. Sorry.
Coach, the next question from Mark Freund.
I don't know how to follow that up, but
we should just go home right now. And what are we talking about? It's football, right?
Yeah.
It's football.
Hey, Spencer's pick, he was pretty adamant.
Are they okay with how I dressed today? Should I be changing my pants or, different shirt? I mean, what are we talking about? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm distracted right now. Totally distracted.
You're good. I get it.
Yeah.
Spencer was pretty adamant that his pick he knows that was a pretty bad play. I
wouldn't argue with that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to speak to him directly after, or how do you coach a guy in that situation when he knows, man, that was a really bad play? Yeah.
Growth is painful. And, one thing about Spencer, he's pretty, he's wired in, he's in tune, and, he knows if he makes a bad play, he knows it probably as much as we do, and probably hurts him more than us, quite frankly, because we've had more experience watching those kinds of things. But that's part of the growth process. This guy prepares, he works hard. A couple times today, that was a bad decision. Then a couple times where he's aiming the football, but it's just all part of that growth process. But he's aware of what's going on out there. He's leading our team. He does a great job during the week, and we're totally totally on board with him. And that it's something you got to work your way through. That's all.
The next question from Mike Halas.
Kirk, the time spins by awfully fast, and Chauncey Golston's almost done. How would you summarize his career with, of course, a focus on that big play he made late in the game?
Yeah, first of all, and you guys can answer it for me, is that 4 interceptions he's had, or was that ruled an interception? It was, right?
No, officially it's a fumble, but
fumble. Okay, so but you get the point. It's been like 3 or 4 of them, I think, in his career. But the bigger picture for me is like he really embodies to me what an Iowa football player is. He's under-recruited, undersized when he came out. He had the height, not the girth. And all he's done is work hard here. He's an absolute delight anytime you're in the room with him. I mean, the guy just has a really positive energy. He works hard. He's done a good job off the field, does a nice job in the classroom, and has grown into a really good player. Not just this year, but I mean, it's been a process. So, credit goes to him for working hard and just taking advantage of the opportunities. And, we're thrilled he's on our football team. He's been a captain every week. You've been watching that, and it's no surprise. He's just so highly respected. And it's the same way last year. Our guys looked at him like one of the seniors last year. He's just a really first-class young guy and a good player, really good player.
Coach, we'll take two more questions. The first from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of in a time warp here talking about 2014, and then you're using It's Football a couple of different times. So I guess that's contrasting to That's Football from that.
I get a hall pass on. I mean, it is football, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
football. You
do. I can't tell you why we stink sometimes. Okay. There's like, it's football, or the other team has anyway. I interrupted. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. You can go on all day if you want on that one. But Pete Spencer had a really good first quarter and kind of tailed off for the rest of the game. And I know he hasn't had a lot in the offseason, but you're about 2/3 through the season. Do you see the kind of growth that you need to kind of look at him and say he's going to be our guy well into the future, or is he just the best guy in the present?
Well, everybody's got to compete. That's just the name of the game for every player on our roster. They have to compete daily, and if they're not deserving of that position, they're not going to be there. But yeah, we haven't had any discussions like that. We feel good about what he's doing. I think Alex has improved as well, and those are the two guys that are getting all the work basically in practice. And we're we don't have any plans or discussions to make any changes there. So it's just all about him, taking every experience that he gains week to week and seeing what he can do to add to his play. And just about every guy we've had has had the ups and downs, every position, but quarterback's so obviously visible. But and the other thing in the back of my mind too, I do factor that missed spring and missed summer. I think it's huge for a player of that position. Excuse me, but you can't underestimate that. You just can't. It's so valuable. So we're good with him. He's doing fine.
Final question for Coach Ferentz from John Schaefer.
Coach, with all the banter that goes back and forth between these two programs, I know there's a trophy on the line, but is this a rivalry game in your mind between you and Nebraska?
Well, to me, it seems like all of our border rivalry games are rivalry games, and every conference game is a rivalry for me. I'm not sure what rivalry means exactly, because football, they all count. I mean, that's what it really gets down to, and this year especially because you're only got an 8-game schedule, so they all count, and I think over time, it's just natural. Like they are in the Big Ten now, right? They weren't up until whatever it was, 10 or 11. I probably should know that. I think it was 11, right? Is that their first year? So, they were new to the league, and probably Penn State went through the same thing back in the 90s, I'm guessing. But now I think everybody, we're all together, and, hopefully over time it really develops into that. But it's an important game to us. I know that for sure is important to us.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time. Enjoy.
You guys enjoy a day off. Thank you.
Thank you. We will have a transcript available from the Coach Ferentz portion of the Zoom news conference. So stay tuned for that. That's all we got. Thanks.